With me, Arizona Congressman Trent Franks, who's been a leading voice on this issue for years. Good evening, Congressman. Your reaction to this blunt warning that enemy nations can shut down the systems that we Americans rely on?
Well, first of all, I'm just grateful to Admiral Rogers for having the courage and the acumen to state this as he has. It is every syllable he spoke is accurate, and we're fortunate to have men like that out there protecting all of us. And I also want to just thank you for your commitment to this issue, because it appears because of you and people like Pete Sessions and others that we're now going to see some movement on the Critical Infrastructure Protection Act. And I'm extremely encouraged about that.
Well, you know, let's hope that there is movement. And, of course, I've complained a great deal about the fact that there are some people who won't even let these bills out of committee. And the inherent danger to Americans, you've got the idea of an electromagnetic pulse. You've got solar flares, which are a big one, guaranteed. And now we've got these other rogue nations, well, not even rogue nations. You've got China and Russia. They've strengthened their grid. Our grid is not protected, and they can, you know, they've inserted allegedly malware in ours. So will we know if there is any kind of effort of a cyber attack by another nation? And could we stop it? Are we in a position to do that?
Well, it's a serious situation. In some cases, we do know when they do that. These attacks are ongoing, and certainly we're very vulnerable to it. And the truth is, Judge, that EMP and cyber security issues are sort of kissing cousins. Any system that cyber can hurt or corrupts, potentially EMP can take the system down entirely. Mm-hmm. And we have to be alert at all times. The bill that we have in Congress would task the Department of Homeland Security to make sure that these are insinuated into our national planning scenarios, and that we do the additional research necessary to protect our major grid components. And then it tasks them, most importantly, with a plan to protect our major grid components. And I think it's very ironic that on Monday we have a deadline, negotiations with Iran potentially becoming a nuclear-capable nation at some point. If they do, how will we feel then? Will we then react to this? And so I think that there's ample reason for all of us to act now, and we're beginning to do that, and I'm encouraged.
Well, you know, and there's talk that it would be $2 billion to strengthen our grid. Is that a lot of money from your perspective in Congress?
Well, that would be over 4 or 5 years, and that could, if you broke that down into what it would cost the ratepayers, I think it maybe is 25 cents a year per ratepayer. So the cost is, and this is, of course, is just to ameliorate the worst case scenario. Mm-hmm. But I am frustrated sometimes at groups like NERC that have slow-walked these kinds of protections through the FERC process. It's also encouraging to me to see great industry giants like Terry Boston of PJM that has stood up and looked at this issue for what it is, and I want to thank him tonight for his courage. He's responsible to keep electricity coming to about 60 million people in America. Well, and we're very fortunate that people like that are finally coming to the front.
And we're fortunate, Congressman, that there are people who recognize the inherent danger here. And the unfortunate part is NERC, which is the North American, what is it, Electronic Regulatory Commission. Whatever the Reliability Corporation
North American Electric Reliability Corporation.
Right, has not done what you guys think it should be doing. If anyone wants this bill to move, what should they do? Who should they contact?
Well, right now it's just the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, Mike McCall, again, a very courageous hero in my judgment, is going to see the bill come to the floor. We hope that leadership will provide the time for it. I think they will. And we then, of course, will look to the Senate probably early next year to look at it. We have a new chairman coming in that is going to be, I think, very, very amenable to the bill, new chairman of the Homeland Security Committee in the Senate.
All right, Congressman Franks, thanks so much for being with us.
And thank you, Judge. You were there when we really needed you.
Thank you. And with me